Welcome back, awesome action toy fans and subscribers. It is our favorite Acid Rain World time. Today is Sunday the 19th of March 2023, and if you saw my toy haul video, you've seen I got loads of Acid Rain stuff, and it's my favorite faction from Acid Rain. It is the AMM. We've got the character Mason, who looks big and awesome. We've got the Yellow Jacket Captain, the Vespid Vanguard, and the Swiftwing Speeder. So this will go in addition to the original AMM Trooper, which I believe the Vespid Vanguard may be very similar to. And I'll do a comparison to one of those inside this video a little later. We have the AMM, was it the Amphista, or was it another name? I can't know what the name was now. The AMM Speeder before, and we had the female one, the Prospector. All the releases for AMM have been absolutely fantastic. I'm so glad they've done more of them, and we've got a named character. This is going to be awesome. If you like sort of content, you want to support the channel, want to see everything as soon as it's uploaded, then please consider joining the Patreon. Link in the top right of your screen now. And you can see everything early. You can see exclusive content and get free and extra entries into our prize draws and raffles when we have them. Okay, let's get a look at the boxes first. I will move my Joy Toy calendar out of the way, purely because I'm going to need the space later. And that's going to be an exciting family shot when I do that. Let's start with Mason. Not too much glare. Bit brighter on the back than previously. Lovely looking gun. That looks like a little bit like the Super Puppet gun. You've not seen the Super Puppet. It's one of the greatest releases they did as well. Two shoulder guns and his pistols there. So it looks like very, oh, waist guns even. Looks very, very cool. Yellow Jacket Captain, who's going pretty much the same as the Vespid Guard. Different head, different helmet perhaps. Gun, pistol, knife, grenade. Looks pretty cool. I'm tempted now to get loads of Marvel Infinity or Universe Yellow Jackets. He can be the captain. Silly joke, I know. Okay, the Vespid Vanguard looks pretty cool. Does look like the original AMM Trooper, so I'm looking forward to doing that comparison. His gun, I believe, is different, and he's got the pistols, the grenade and knife, which the original didn't have. And the Swiftwing Speeder. Very, very nice looking. Tells you've got the speeder, got the machine gun, armoured arm guard, helmet mounted display. Ooh, three different types. That'd be interesting to see. You can get loads of variety on the looks of your troopers. Great looking stuff. I am really looking forward to this. I am going to pause this, release these beasts, and we'll get into this video. So I'll be back in an instant for you guys. Stay tuned. Okay, I'm back, and they look absolutely fantastic. Still my favourite faction in Acid Rain World. Forget Bob and Buck's team. Forget your Amanga Abaddons. Forget your Argots. Forget your everything. Your Marine 303. These for me are the best. And I think that this Mason possibly could be contender, even though we're March, for best 1/18 scale figure of 2023. He's going to be up there, I think, unless we get some exceptionally amazing releases between now and December. I can't see him dropping out of the top 10. Okay, so let's get a close look first. We'll start with Mason, and he is big. You can see he's big there, but he's not even straight. If I put him more straight, we'll get an idea of his size, and I'll measure him a bit later. So, close look. Now, the only thing I don't like, his gun, is I think the stock is too long. Because he struggles to hold it nicely. But he can hold it, not too bad. And we see he's got the nice drilled barrel, which I love about Acid Rain World. It looks very, very cool. He's got his two pistols. These guns plug into his back, or the waist section of the back. They come up over the shoulder. They can come up under the waist. Look at that in a moment. Great looking head. Vicious spikes in the kneecaps. Got these big feet. You can take the shoes, that padding, and all his armor stuff off to make a unarmored figure, if you would like. So I'm tempted to get another Mason just to do that with. He is a great looking figure. Now I'm going to have his features with articulation moment. Next we have the Yellow Jacket Captain, who's basically the same as the Vespid. just a few different parts on him. This gun for me, very nice looking, but there's nowhere to hold it properly underneath. So I prefer the original AMM Trooper gun to this. The stock is okay on this, but it still struggles. The forearms perhaps are too bulky, so it struggles to get the stock into the shoulder without letting go of the trigger handle. Does look very, very nice, and the pistols are so secure. And you see I've got a grenade in there. You could put the bayonet, the knife in there, but you'll limit the articulations of getting away and stab him in the bum when he's running, walking. And then we get to the Vespid, the Vanguard Vespid here. Looks pretty cool. Got him shooting his pistol. Very similar to the original AMM Trooper look at the moment. Same gun as the Yellow Jacket Captain, same grenade, same pistols. Vest is slightly different. Now let's look at the bike. The Swiftwing Speeder. Very cool. Comes with a great big machine gun which you can take out and hold in the hand. We have seen this before. These two awesome pistols on, which I've not seen before as well. AMM on the wheel, on the hub. Very cool. And what I'll do now is I'll go through the features on this. I'm going to start off with these pistols. These pistols are absolutely gorgeous. Check that out. That is a beautiful looking pistol. Steel view drilled barrel and that colouring scheme as well. Very sci-fi looking. Looks absolutely fantastic. I love that. And fits so nice and snugly into the little holster there. The handlebars are very soft, rubbery, so it's quite easy to bend them into place or to help figures hold them. Wheels spin a little bit on the front and a little bit on the back. The kickstand comes down. The gun articulates from where it plugs in. There's a little joint at the top too, and you can pivot from the actual gun. But I felt like there should be a joint going outwards because I think it's too close to the actual rider. Look at that in a second. Also, these can, front and back can come down, so you can get for like a rough terrain. Though your kickstand ain't going to help you with that one, but it's a nice feature, you know. You can get some sort of a cartoon sort of proportions going on there, but it's pretty cool. Very nice looking bike. Let's put the kickstand down a bit stiff. There might be other features I haven't discovered yet. I'm still looking, but I don't think there are. Very cool indeed. So now I want to compare the Vanguard Vespid to the original AMM Trooper. I've got an original AMM Trooper here. This is one I purchased broken, who's got really stiff joints, and so he's missing an arm, which I'll fix, and the joints I don't want to bend until I can immerse him in hot water when everything else breaks. So we can see that the helmet is, this is the original, missing the arm here. Let's get a bit of focused. The helmet is obviously a little bit different on this guy compared to the Trooper. This one should still open. The face should be a little bit different too, maybe. Yeah, face is quite a bit different. Looks to be bigger on this one. Helmet seems to be slightly slimmer. The armor is different on the chest. Thighs is similar but different. These guys, that's this guy's pistol. The originals don't have the holster section. Kneecaps look quite similar. Shin armor is different. The feet are different too. Back is similar, but again, not identical. If I get this, can this guy stand up? I'm scared of bending anything. There you go. He's popped out a joint, or did he break? No, he has broken at the ankle. But that's something I can fix. So if I can stand him up on one foot, maybe. They are about the same height, we can see there. So that's pretty cool. I will actually ask PIA Club or TA if they got spare joints of these, so I can fix this one with original joints as opposed to using newer joints from different toy lines, because I do like my original AMM Troopers. The gun though if we compare the guns, the original on top, the new one on the bottom, quite similar. I prefer the original on top. It is smaller, but it's much easier for the figures to hold nicely in a proper shooting pose. Though the bottom one does look nicer. So you want to go for a practicality for your figure or how nice the gun looks. That's just preference, up to you. Okay, let's put this in. Okay, we're now going to go through articulation. I'll start with this guy since he's here. Let's put this gun back in his come on, holster. Okay, so let's start and go from head to down. I didn't show something else on the bike, but I'll come back to that. So head downwards, so visor comes up. You can take the helmet off, but the head might come with it, I think. There we go. Quite a standard sort of a head. Looks quite nice though. So you still get a left to right. You don't get much of it up and down or side to side. Shoulders will go all the way around to the side. Original would be much better on this. That new system doesn't allow much sideways movement. However, you do get a forwards and backwards shoulder roll, which is nice for some positions. Bicep bend, you get over 90 degrees, you can see there. Wrist is gun articulation. He can twist, obviously. This side is wave articulation. There is a trunk, but it's hidden underneath the vest. He can turn, he can dip a little bit, not really side to side. Hips, pretty good before the bulk gets in the way. Forwards is actually very good. Backwards, about that far before it starts to turn outwards. That's really quite good. There is a thigh twist. There's a double kneecap. It's a bit stiff, but you can see, look how tight it gets. Fantastic. A little bit ugly on the knee, but it's pretty damn good or nonetheless. There is a foot twist. There is a foot, let's do that again. There's a boot turn. There's a foot swivel, really good foot swivel. There's a decent tippy toe and a small dorsiflexation. It's a bit ugly if doing tippy toe. You see that little joint there, but it is the best system for articulation. Currently the best system for articulation. Now, what I didn't show you on the bike, it also comes with different, let's find these, where are they? Different arm pads. So you can change the arm pads around on your bike, guys, to get these sort of arm pads like this. And there is instructions for that. Just got to pop the arm off, put these on, put it back on. It also comes with different helmets. So if you see this other guy, exactly the same as this one, I've changed his helmet visor around. There's one like this, which I think is pretty cool. You can pop that one off. There is one like this, which again is pretty cool. And that'll come up and you can pop it off easily. The last one I really like, but the last one I have so much trouble fitting it on nicely. It's like it just doesn't want to go. It's not fitting on one side of the pins. But that would go like that. But when I want to cup it up, it wants to come off. It hasn't gone on properly. It'll come up like that. So that's a pretty cool feature too. Okay, so let's put his gun there. We'll now go to Mason because the Yellow Jacket's captain of the same articulation as the Vanguard Vespid, the Vespid Vanguard. Let's take this big gun out. It's very hard for him to hold it, but he can. Now the gun does have this little bipod, we can see here, which comes out and goes in. I'm thinking that maybe I'm missing a trick on that stock. It looks like there could be some sort of joints there, but it's because there's a gap. But no, nothing is happening. I'd have rather that stock was shorter so you can hold it better. Nice looking gun. So, Mason. He has a left, a right, an up, down, and he does get a small side to side. That face sculpt is fantastic. A little bit reminiscent of some of the Narinu stuff, which is probably my second favourite faction. Arms all the way around. Shoulders, again, not particularly far. It's worth noting that his vest, actually, is it separate or is it part of his body? I can't actually tell. Actually, I'll tell a lie. With Mason, that body is not a vest. Actually, it's not a vest. That's part of the body. He does get the same shoulder roll, which is good. His bicep bend is over 90 again. And again, we can see that he does have gun articulation that is a bit impeded by his forearm armor there. And he has wave articulation other arm. Trunk, forwards, backwards, pretty good. Side to side, not really. There is a turn, which is great. He can turn from the waist. So together, he does get quite a good bit of a movement. Legs with the guns in, not very far because the pockets without them get slightly further. Forwards, again, sculpting is getting in the way, so it's not particularly great. If you took that belt came off, you get further again. Thigh turn, there's a double kneecap, though with the guns on the back are going to get in the way slightly. Just bend it that way, there we go. Nice and tight. You actually can get tighter than that. And again, on the feet, it's the same. We have a nice boot turn. We have a small dorsey, a good tippy toe, and a great swivel. And then we have the guns on the back, which you can take out and hold if you want. They can come up like, don't pop out, very stiff. Come on, gun, stay in for me, there we go. So I might have to turn it around to get a better articulation there, actually. They do pop up. And the vest is popping out. In fact, I should actually turn it around, I think, for that articulation. Or maybe that way. There we go. Now, can I get it to bend the other way? I hope I can. No! Oh! Can this twist? There we go. There we go. Okay. So they pop up and you can twist it around and you can get nice over the shoulder shooting. If you want, you can get under the arm shooting too. So quite a few options there. And then you can also attach one of the other mecha arms that are released previously to him too. He's a great looking figure. Right, let me just detach that. Stand him up right here. Get an idea of how big he is compared to the others. Oops. So big he falls over. Bear in mind, with the helmet on, he's still quite a large figure. Let's get a bit of a zoom in. Let's get a size check on a standard figure and on Mason. So this will be in CM. So the standard figure, the Vespid, the Vanguard Vespid, to the top of the helmet is just under 11 CM. Mason to the top of the head is about 11.5 cm. So he is a big boy. If I compare him to the Narinu Sentinel, who I've got my desk, my custom one with the Fortnite quick camera adjustment. Okay, let's get this Narinu Sentinel. Now he's going to be taller with that Fortnite fade head, but we'll get an idea of how big Mason is in comparison. Yeah, Mason is a big boy. Let's do one more. I use a Joy Toy Warhammer 40k Invicta Warsuit Pilot. This is body 1, so not quite as big as body 2, but he is a very big boy in comparison to your normal 1/18 scale. And you see that, wow, Mason is still a big boy. He is actually a touch taller, just not as bulky. Okay, so the next question is, what do the figures look like when they are on this bike? And the answer is they look like this. Very, very nice indeed. Though they can't really get the head up to look that well. This one I've taken the little, what's it called, the helmet part off. But you can look at the display to driver. I think that gun should have that outwards part more. see there's a sort of a L bend there, or Z bend, or N bend, whatever it's called, but it needs to go further out, and I can't see a way of making it go further out unless I've missed something. If that could swivel, and then the gun could swivel back in, that would be perfect, but they do look very good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set Mason up on the bike, and I'll come back and see how he fits too. Now there should be enough space for him. I'm just worried about his legs and the guns there. Maybe he can't fit, we will see. So let's put this bike there. I'm going to pause this. I'll be back in a second with Mason set up on a bike. In fact, I'll probably fit the other two on bikes as well, just to get a nice family shot and see what everything looks like. So I'll be back in a moment. Okay, I decided not to put all of them on the bikes, but what I did do is pose the other two, and then this one I changed to one of the mask, the visor that was difficult to put on, and I changed his visor to one of the bike visors. Now he's literally looking down at the bike console only. So quick look at him again, because I've changed the visor, looking completely down at the controls of the bike. Oh, that one comes up. He's still going to look at the controls of the bike, but can't really get that posture as much as I'd like. Mason looks absolutely fantastic, even though he's rather big. He is almost sitting on it completely. I think his legs bent and sort of going backwards, and I put his other guns on over his shoulders. He's got super firepower. Just that this can't really shoot straight now with these in the way. Again, if that was to come out more, if there's a way to, if there is a way I've missed to articulate that more hours, someone please let me know. But he looks absolutely fantastic on the bike there. Really, really nice. Like that a lot. And then the other guy, I've posed him. Really nice pose, I think, where he's actually gripping his visor and taking it up, or maybe he's putting it down. But he's gripping it really quite nicely. And again, I mean, that gun grip or gun articulation on the wrist is great, but they just can't hold these guns as nicely as I'd like them to. Looks good. And then the captain, I've got a sort of a mabu, which is horse riding stance, almost a horse riding stance in Chinese martial arts, and shooting his gun. Looks pretty cool. And then this is the guy with this is the visor that was quite difficult to put on. But I think it's actually really quite nice. Should go in tight there, but you can see the top is at an angle. It just, this one side does not want to go in. If you guys have the same issue of yours, let me know. I mean, I've got other ones, so I bought, maybe at that point, I know what, I'm going to cut a little bit of this off on the camera and see if that's the thing. It looks like there might be too much plastic here, maybe, or rubber there. So I'm going to cut that and not my finger. I don't think I've got that. I need to take a bit more time to do that. And now it's falling down somewhere I can't see. Where did it go? There it is. Let's try one more try. Can you see that on the camera? Maybe you cannot see that. Just a little bit there, which looks like it could be what's in the way. Yeah. Still there, but hopefully I've moved a bit. I'm not sure if I have. And hopefully that'll fix the issue. I think it's not going to help much. But that might be what's causing it. I'm not sure. But anyway, if that sits flush, I think that, see, this side is not flush now. That looks fantastic. And it's not going to open straight, it's open at an angle. But I think that's probably my favourite one of the extras, if it will fit on nicely. So my final opinions on these figures. I think they all look absolutely fantastic. I think aesthetically, they're some of the best Acid Rain World figures. And I am biased because this is my favourite faction. Articulation wise, again, just those shoulders are the issue. And some of the bulk might cause a couple of issues. My only real gripe, I'll say, is the new guns, including Masons and the new AMM standard sort of trooper, the Vanguard guns. I think the stocks are too long. If they'd kept the original design, this is the original AMM gun, which is like a Forsetti gun, I believe, if I remember rightly. With that with that slightly smaller stock, it's much easier to hold nicely. I think it would have been better, but new guns do look nicer. Fantastic releases, really good stuff. Great job by Toys Alliance, Kit Lau Toys Alliance. I like these a lot. Now, I didn't buy these from PIA Club, and I'll tell you why. PIA Club have shafted me. That's a nice way of saying me before, and I'll tell you what they've done. If you're watching PIA Club, don't disturb the people. I live in China. I purchased from their website. They charge me international shipping, and then they ship the product from China. Why am I paying 30, 40, 50 US dollars for something that cost them maybe $3 US to get to me? And so I bought from a Chinese seller who didn't charge me international shipping. So it actually worked out cheaper, but I got them slightly later. So PIA Club, stop shafting people over like that. That's not nice. You can charge me international shipping, ship from China, then refund the difference. No problem. Or just don't charge me international shipping when I'm in China and you're shipping from China. Anyway, that's my little rant over. Fantastic stuff. Really looks great. Loads of shelf presents. I think I will get another Mason to have a little play around with, removing parts, see what I can make out of him. But I think a lot of his parts are actually part of his standard body and can't be taken off. Feet maybe. The shin guards, the arm stuff, I think not. The body, I don't think too. He does remind me a little bit of a Reborn Trooper, who was the biggest previous Acid Rainbow figure in terms of sort of size and bulk. Really nice. I'll leave a link in the top right if you've not seen that review yet. I don't know what a Reborn Trooper looks like. Okay, this is Awesome Action Toys signing out. So again, saying please consider joining the Patreon, and I'll see you in the next video soon. Stay happy, keep collecting. Bye bye.